Hey guys, welcome back. So, yesterday we were working on getting things fixed. I was debugging the application, and I must say it was a pretty successful session. We managed to run the application and to make the features that matter the most be worked. For example, the modules option was not working, which is one of the most important options that we have right now, and that was quite concerning me a lot. And we did a little but thorough debug session, and I must say that was successful. So after finishing that, we set up some tasks for today, and I hope that we can work on them. So for today, I'm gonna add the missing modules. I think that I'm gonna be doing this, asking Claude to include it. But first, I'm gonna check the changes and maybe commit my changes in case anything goes wrong, because we have used Claude before, and sometimes it's great and then sometimes it is not. It made a mess a few weeks before. So to avoid that, I'm gonna commit my changes and then I'm gonna ask Claude to add those missing modules. Also, maybe I would like to, if not create, at least um kind of plan how we can create this grouping mechanism for the modules. Also, yes, add the left panel render method. I think we can do this manually. It's gonna be more a matter of just taking the already existing code that we had in the our um, previously existing render class to this new module result render class, and I think that will be it. I'm sorry. Also, we can start planning the interactive configuration wizard. This is one of the most exciting features that I'm planning to be adding. Anything that is interactive, I think it's pretty exciting, even more when we talk about CLI applications. So I hope to to have a great time implementing this. And for my future updates, we want to get the disk space and memory charts into the panel with their group info, or maybe they can go in the bottommost, because those are some big how can we call it, like big chunks of information. And also adding a coloring option, I think that will be also pretty easy, but I think it's not something that we want to do just right now. We can give it some time. So I think we can start now. We can start checking what we have done so far. I think we can check what we have done so far here at our git changes. So config was added. Yeah, we added those checks to know that those are working. My config, yes, I think we can get rid of this right now. This was just for learning purposes. I don't think this one we really need it. Maybe I can add it to the git ignore, but let's see. This, yeah, we remove this from here. The plan MD, yep, we added some tasks. From program, yeah, we did had a lot of changes. We created the launch code.json. And for our configuration loader, yeah, this was what we did yesterday. We added these checks and we changed some of this information. I think that we're gonna maybe even later do some more changes here. And for this class, we created it entirely. Yes. Okay, so I think we can. Should I remove this one from here? Like, yeah, I think we can. We know that it's working, so that's it. Let's say, yeah, let's generate a commit message. I think is gonna be doing a way better work than I do. Yeah, why not? Why not? I think we can just let me do it manually, like git add. Yep, git status. Yep, let's add everything. And now, yeah, we can commit these changes. And I think we can push this one git um push origin set upstream feature implement modules. Give me a second. Okay, so we have pushed code. We don't want yet to create a pull request. I think we're not done with our current work. Currently, I think we are good to be adding more code, more of the planned code for today. So let me see if I need something else. Okay, I think we can start like maybe asking Claude if he can add the missing modules. So yeah, build. Please add the missing modules. Let's say for the different uh, sys sys info properties like shell, Windows Manager, etc. What else? And create a grouping mechanism. Huh, let me see. For this, for the modules, for example, to group them and display them as so. Oh, if desired. You know what? I'm gonna go into plan mode before implementing anything. Add a missing module for different system, blah, 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 blah. Yeah. If desired. Let's see what he came up with. In the meanwhile, let me see. For example, we want to add all the missing modules here that we need. The grouping mechanism, I think it's a good idea to be adding it as soon as possible. If Claude gets to, to do something that I think we can be using right now, I'm gonna use it. If not, then I think we're gonna wait on this one. This is gonna be pretty straightforward, and yes, I think that's it. Like I gotta remove all these files from here and try to organize them in their respective folders. Same as for these MD files. I think maybe we can create something like AI sessions or a folder like that, to be putting these um, files somewhere where they belong. Okay, so let's see what we get. Okay, yes, this is everything we need. Okay, so its approach will be to create the missing module files following the existing pattern. Then introduce grouping by adding a group property to the module interface and updating the registry and configuration to support organization, yada yada. Now I need to review the config JSON. Okay, let's plan the implementation. The current state, these are the missing modules. Now the existing one, the missing ones are these. No grouping mechanism, okay? And then the missing modules. Yep, okay. Mm-hmm. Uh, okay, I like this. It's gonna kind of plan a way to group them like hardware system environment, but it's gonna create an overridable way of assigning this grouping. That's good if if the user wants to group them the way he think that's the best, he can do it. So defining the group configuration structure with properties for the group name, okay? Which modules belong to it and display color, yada yada. Okay, before diving into the implementation, it's gonna present the plan clearly, blah 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 blah. So the plan. So these are the existing models. Yeah, everything we already know. The module configuration. Okay, the order is defining the order here, and then mhm, okay, I like this. We can define the name. We can define the coloring. I think this is pretty good. Maybe we can later change this color for color scheme, and then the list of modules here. Okay, module configuration is gonna have a group config, and yes, module reset renderer groups are configured. Yep. So one design question for the grouping: should modules have a built-in default group? Hmm. Okay, I think hybrid. That's the best way. I would like to have a built-in, but also to be configurable. Okay, yes, please proceed with the implementation of the plan, going step by step. Yes, let's see what it came up with. We already have committed our changes, so I think we're pretty confident on doing these changes using Claude. Yes, it is starting to think and to visualize the project structure again. That's pretty good. So it's definitely going to be taking some time there. Anyways, in the time being, remember you can go and check the code here at Osempu Sharfetch. This is my GitHub profile. And right now, what we're doing is here implement the modules. This is the current work, the current state of the project. Once we got it working and it's something that I feel confident, I'm gonna merge this into master, and also I think we should create a nice and clean um, README file, also using Claude to make it like appealing, and maybe adding some captures of how the application works. I think that's something nice, and whoever looks at it, it's gonna definitely want to try it. So let's see, it's still on step one. Okay, let's see the actual code. Yep, it's adding the grouping mechanism or logic in our class. Okay, wow, okay, this one's big. Update module base. This is for module result and I module, but I haven't seen any change on module base. Okay, I think, yeah, it didn't like highlighted the changes, but it definitely did the changes. Okay, so now it is adding the group config to the sharpwrench configuration. Let's see what else it has done. The OS module. Yeah, so it is adding the grouping to the already existing modules. Oh, and we have now here the user module, terminal user shell module, window manager module. Okay, I like this approach. The uptime. Okay, so let's see what is it doing right now. Like updating the module registry with get group modules. Oh yes, yeah, this definitely this class for group power rendering. So it did updated a lot this class. Still on step 7. Yeah, and I do think it's gonna be having to add these quite some logic, to group the modules. Okay, I like it. It added the missing icons, also added some colors, some coloring. Now we're gonna have to be changing this from console color to the NC NC color for from Spectre, because that's what we are using right now. Okay, now into step 8, it's gonna be updating the program, CS, and configuration loader. Okay, group config. Yes. Okay, this definitely is gonna be a challenge on how to define the grouping, and how to make it easy. That's definitely gonna be a challenge, to make easy how to create the groups and how to define coloring. Oh, I like this. I think Claude already did it, like um easy. Display the color. Okay, I like this. This is good. Now it's gonna build and verify. Okay, okay, look at this. Status, environment, hardware, and system. Minimal format, modules, CPU, memory, disk, uptime. Okay, the thing, maybe I will have to read and check how can we enable grouping, because that's something that I definitely want to work like default, but also to be able to, like shut it off if needed. But I think it actually did a pretty good job on adding everything like .NET run dash dash, and let's see what we get like default. Okay, I think this is because the cat config.json. Yeah, we have defined. Hmm. Now I see something like modules. It's empty, and also the modules for every group and app. I'm not feeling confident this is okay. Because at some time, if we add a module here or down here, wow, what is it gonna happen? Actually, let's try and break it. Config.json and say something like, for system, I want OS, oops, OS, and uptime, for example. And let's try running this again. .NET run double dash, and okay, so we did have OS and uptime for system, but we still have everything here. Also, we're having this weird issue as before. We will have to fix that later. And for example, what if we only want OS here or CPU, something we don't have defined below? Okay, I think this is good. Yeah, I think this one should definitely be the one that says if we have anything defined as modules, it should be like the most important, and for grouping only if we haven't defined what we want in modules. That's my thinking for now. Like, okay, so CPU definitely is a hardware, or is it? And if we add shell, okay, so now shell auto groups on environment info, but I would like to add a something here like group group modules and say false, for example, and then stop the grouping. But before adding this, I think it will be worth to go to program and see how the grouping is working, right? No, I think it's on the module result renderer. So here is where the grouping is working. Okay, so build display groups. It's gonna take the module result list. So every module that returns successful, it's gonna be added to the list, and then the configure groups will be this config. Where is it? Like here? No, this is yes. Oh, the sharp fetch configuration. Okay. Are we injecting this somewhere like on sharp fetch configuration? Isn't it defined here? Like it isn't, right? Well, we do have the config here, and I think yes, we are passing it here to the module result renderer. And now, if the groups is bigger than zero, then it's gonna be build configure groups. Okay, so maybe if we get the false from here, we can change this to false. Okay, so configure groups will be this one, and auto groups, it's gonna create a group order, group map. It creates a dictionary of a string and a list of module result. Okay, display group. Okay, so I think it has done a pretty good job here at at grouping things. But now let's ask Claude to also add a way to shut the um grouping off. Thus these no those grouping have a way to sh- to be shut down or not shut down but inactive. Let's say, for example, if the user defined in the config.json file that he does not want to group the output, is it possible now? If not, please implement this by checking the config.json file for that. How did I call that? Um, Group modules pool property. So basically, we're saying, if is it possible to unactivate the grouping? If so, that's okay. If not, please add the logic for that because it will be great if we can shut or activate and unactivate that grouping mechanism. I think that's the way to go for, make it every last bit, make it configurable because I do like the idea of grouping, but I'm pretty sure that, okay, yeah, I also like the idea of make it configurable. Do you want it, or if you don't do it. Okay, now it's checking if it works. Okay. Hmm. Okay, I'm gonna go and check it myself. Like I'm gonna remove all these from modules, and let's remove always and uptime. For group modules, let's save false for now, or and say .NET double dash and see what we get. You should get everything. Okay, yes, yes. But instead of system information, we should change this to something else. And I think this and this are causing these issues. So, yep, we will have to change those. I really don't like this. I would like to know what's going on here, like what causes this issue. But so far, I haven't checked into it, like I think this is more an issue of, oh, well, actually, we have spaces here for kernel and uptime. Could it be something like that, like uh, kernel module, and say, do we have a yeah group system? That's okay. You name and dash r. So maybe in the renderer, like panels. Yeah, so it doesn't seem like we're adding any blank space here, but for some reason for the uptime, and maybe is it because they're only numbers and something's going on there, like yeah, I think it will be worth to debug that, like check why is that why is there that, or you know what, we could also add like a check or a trim if there's any kind of blank space on the left or right, just totally trim the line, and maybe that could save that space, that could be removing that annoying blank space. Okay, so this is render as trees. Yeah, okay. I was looking at this blank space, but doesn't seems to be the like the case. Okay, so I like this, and now let's say true, and let's run it again. Now we should have different panels for every group. Yes, 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 yes. Okay. Also, one thing that I would like to is to know how can we make these panels bigger to make them equal. I think that's something that should that I should kind of like research and investigate on Spectre console, because I think that should be possible. It must be possible, but I should search for it anyway. Okay, so so far I like this. I do enjoy this. So for this is cool, and we have memory. We got it here. This is nice. Okay, now let's not clear this, or like F3s. Yay! I like this. This one looks nice. Okay, so now we have set this. I think we can go into the plan MD and say we have added the missing modules, obviously using Cloud, creating the grouping mechanism, which is awesome. So now I think we can refine this later, because we will definitely have to. For example, these modules should be able to override anything written here, because grouping is something that we want, but we also want to listen to modules first before, and make these like the most important, I think. Also, we can ask Claude that, but for now, I think we're doing pretty good. We've added hell a lot of code here. So, oh, left panel. So it seems that it added the left panel logic by itself. Let me check how this is working. L panel. Yes, but it's not looking like it should. Format label. Okay, yeah, yeah. So it's adding the icon, and okay, yeah, I like this. formatting the label, to display or not, whether to display or not the icon, the coloring, title case. So I think we can close this and also this and check for render or panel. Yes. Okay, so this was the way to go for left and right panel. Hey Brian, yes, yes. There's a lot of changes made um by Claude. I think it helped us to cut a lot of time. So yes, definitely. So right now I'm trying to see the way that I was implementing this left panel, that right panel, the parent grid. Yeah, because I would like to also use this. So let me see. Left panel. No, it's panel. I don't remember if it's panel or panels. Maybe panels. Okay, it's panels. We also have trees. I think we have minimal. Yeah, which is the default. And let's see, .NET Run for help and see if we have any other format that we should take care of. Panels, trees, minimal, and left panel. Okay, so I think so far git status. Yep, I like this. Let me add this, and then actually let's ask this guy to create us a commit message. Yep, I think I want to keep this off. Let's keep out anything related to PlanMD. Yeah, modified result renderer to result enhance module registry to support grouping and retrievable groups. Oh, so yeah, here on the commit box, you have this generate commit message. I think you need to have your Copilot Pro um like subscription to make it work. I'm not sure if you can do it if you don't have a subscription. So I'm subscribed to Copilot, to GitHub Copilot, and you can use this button to make the AI auto generate your commit message. I think that's pretty neat. Even more because there are times where you just want to add anything for the sake of doing it fast, but yeah, yeah, yeah. So you definitely, it seems that you definitely have to have it like on enhanced module configuration. Yeah, okay. Expand Sharpedge config. Okay. Introduce new modules. Yep, definitely we want that in. Update existing modules. Yeah, to include group information. I think this is cool. Yeah, yeah. Okay, cool. So now that we have committed the changes, let me try asking Claude to implement these. So please check the printers left panel function at, I think it's panels CS, and implement that logic into, I think it's at renderer, so it displays the output with the correct mm, left panel look. I hope it gets what I'm trying to say. So let's handle this. Yeah, because so what I'm telling is, what I did before, this way of rendering the output and this grid, please implement this into your own render as left panel. Why? Because this is not going as expected, and it's understandable because I've seen that Claude does have some issues when he tries to implement like visual some visual stuff. So I'm trying to give it some help on that, like check what we have done before at panels and please implement the missing logic into your implementation. Yeah, so I've used the this extension, or this one, which is the GitHub Copilot one. But I must say that I feel more like I maybe it's the space, but also, you know what, I enjoy how everything is rendered here in the console as how it's rendered here in this like window. I feel way more how do I say it, like I forgot the word, I'm sorry. But I feel more restricted here at this screen or this little panel than doing it everything here at the console. I feel way better. Also, I have tried, doing everything on ChatGPT, but it's way different because Open Code already has the context of your project, so makes it a lot easier. And also, I love the way it displays everything, the format, the coloring. It's something that I just got in love, like at the moment, instantly. So yes, right now I'm using Open Code, and with the GitHub Copilot subscription, I'm using Claude Sonnet. And I don't know, I think that's a matter of preference, but for me, using the CLI, it's way better than using this little panel chat here. Also makes everything smaller here. I have to close this one, and I wouldn't be able to have this without making this smaller. So that's why I use the CLI. Okay, so it seems that it's still doing some work. I thought it have ended. Okay. Mm, no, I think it's doing more than I have asked. Okay, no. Oof, okay. So it seemed that for some reason, uh, Cloud say, you know what? Let's do this and let's try doing this. So now it's doing way lot of work that I didn't ask for. And I'm getting a little bit worried about that, to be honest. So yeah, it's doing the chart stuff that we have done before, and I didn't want to touch on chart stuff, like at this moment. But anyways, it is already working, so let him cook. Only a single partial type declaration may have a parameter list. So the module result renderer already defines a member called module result renderer with same parameter types. Okay. Format label. Woo. So did it create the entire class again? I hope not. I really hope not. So it is here. It seems that it didn't create a new class. So okay, I'm fearing right now what is gonna be coming out. It's speeding a lot of code. Now it's yeah. It is updating the checkboxes on its own. Okay, nice. So this can come up really great or really bad. So wait up and see what we get from this. Like what was done, the remaining day 8 work has all been completed. Hey, thank you. You left me with no work. You left me with no work for the stream. Okay, okay. And then, yes, this one. So add a chart entry for and chart data to module result to the module base, added protected, blah, blah, blah. Okay. This is a hook. Okay. New stamps and so on and so forth. Memory module, memory info during get value async. Okay. For this module, catches the drive info. That's good. Everything that is caching, I'm all for that. It has overridden the get chart data. Oh yes, to return the use and free slices. Okay, so now let's try doing the default .NET run and double dash. See what it spits. Okay, they are hella big. That's hell of a panel. I think they can go at the bottommost because they're the biggest ones. Also, I would love to look for a way to make them leaner, because they are so big that I think they break with the flow of the panels. So one thing will be maybe to not use charts. If that's the issue, maybe we can remove the chart. But if we really need charts, then I think maybe we will even be able to contact the Spectre team and then ask for a solution, or looking for anybody who knows on more to use the chart. Yeah. So we're currently using Spectre Console, which is an amazing project. Makes CLI or in any console application to look better, to look this beautiful. I love this. Oh, maybe we could use this. Hmm. I like that one. Maybe we could use that to make it way leaner. Do we have a progress? Okay, progress display. Maybe, just maybe, we could use this. basic usage. Instead of using it for progress, just freeze it and display the used versus the free space in the disks. So I think that will be doable, even though I like the charts more, but I just think they're just too big. Download progress, styling, refresh behavior. You know what? I think that I can go and check for um repos, open examples. So let's run this. Okay. So it seems we can do that much. It This seems to be the default space or size for the chart. So this is the actual repo for not Spectre console as so, but uh, yeah, GitHub. What I'm doing is I'm checking this project. This is from the Spectre team, and I'm checking at charts here up. Yeah, so this is what I'm doing. I'm checking this project. I got it on my local, and so these are examples created by the Spectre team, and they created so you have an idea of on how to use this. And I see that this is being displayed this way. So maybe I must resign and just say memory usage and disk usage is gonna be this big. Okay, so maybe that's a way. Or maybe we can find another way, like, what will be nice? Just displaying these guys here at the bottom. Maybe, maybe that's something we can do. Or, or, maybe we can join memory and disk usage into one, like this here. Memory and disk, and just display everything inside a big panel. And I think that will be better than having these two big chunks, like breaking all the flow of the panels above. I think that's better. Okay, yes, yes. Yeah, I think that's something we can do for day 9, okay? So for now, this is fine. Maybe we can ask Claude to also, if there's a way to, display it normally or with charts. I'm actually gonna take a look at what he has done. So yes, the helpers, chart data, chart entry. This is a record. Okay. So for memory module, it did mostly the same. Yep. Free and use space. For module base, should add something for the chart. Get chart data. If underscore config displays show charts. Render charts. Okay, so Okay, so the config, yes, show charts. So if we change this to false, let's see if we get no charts. Yes, yes, okay. So we have this already working. I like this. So the show chart is it's working as expected. What else we can do that we haven't done so far? I think we can also add an option for that, like would it be wise or should I leave it to the configuration file? Because we can add an option for the chart and we can add an option for, oh yes, let me take a look at left panel before anything. Format L panel. Okay, still not working. Okay, render as panels, render as minimal. Let's see the, is this one the minimal? Yes, this is the minimal one. Okay, and group and groups. Yeah, it seems that we're gonna be have to get in our hands dirty with this one. Interesting, but because it seems that it's okay. I don't get to see anything wrong with this, but for some reason it is still displaying as, you know what, maybe that's something we have to fix here. No, we do have this. You know what? Let's get into the fun part, debugging. Yay. I hate it, but no. Well, actually, I do like debugging, but sometimes it's just not the case. So, start. No, it was launch.json. Maybe we can get rid of all this and then just say something like format and minimal. Yes, thank you. Thank you, Copilot. So what we're doing right now is, we're trying to pass the parameters to our application before starting with the debug session. Nice. Okay. So we're trying to pass the format and minimal. Yeah, but here we have to pass left panel because we will try to get into, no, thank you. We will try to get into this function, okay? Into this part. Let's run the debug session. Yes, we had this from the previous session and this one. We don't care for that. Yay, it seems that it's not hitting that. Interesting. Let's go once more to the render as minimal. Oh no, I think that's Okay, my bad. Left panel. Whoa, ugly. Yep. Let's go to config.json and say no. Group false. So let's try the format as left panel. And yes, it is working. We have these issues we have seen before. Yep. We're gonna work on trying to remove those. But so far, the left panel is working. Okay. It is actually working. So we don't have to worry for that. Maybe, just maybe, thank you. I was taking a sip of coffee. Um, what else can we do? What else? Maybe we could go and try debugging the rendering part. I think we can put a breakpoint on here. So left panel with groups did was looking way ugly. Maybe we could define something to say if left panel enabled, grouping is not enabled, because I didn't like how it looked. Like, look at this. I don't like this. Looks ugly against this, which looks I don't know, logic, understandable, readable, nice. Yeah, and this is not okay. Yeah, maybe we can just go and say something like left panel. Okay, no, where do we have the group? Oh, yes, yes, yes. Okay, maybe we can ask Cloud to do that. So let's say, please remove the grouping logic from the render as left panel function at renderer, and make it display everything together. Now, let's just say, let's just ask to remove the grouping logic and say as it should render ungrouped every time. Every time. Yep. Yeah, so the thing is that I didn't quite like how the grouping was looking on the left panel. So it seems that it's gonna bypass something. Yep. Yes. The left panel. Yeah, and it's gonna deal with everything. Yeah, with removing the grouping logic and instead, yes, not getting the display group, but getting the module result read only list, which is way better. Okay, so let's see. Okay, even let's try adding the grouping to config. Oh yes, group modules true, and we still have this. Okay, I like it. And now for the uptime, maybe up. Let's try adding this nice finger for uptime. And what's the other one? The kernel. For kernel, let's try adding something funny. Oh yes, maybe we can add this. No, not this, but the lightning. No, like thunder. Let's see if this one's better. .NET build and then .NET run. Whoopsie doopsie. No, format left panel. Okay, so for kernel that was it, but for uptime, okay, so it seems that okay. What if I add this? So for uptime, maybe we can look for something this fire thing. Okay, so guys, just for the sake of having this clean and not having the issue with the spacing, I change uptime for this flame icon and the kernel for the check icon. Okay, so bear with me a little, just this, just for this, and let's say maybe .NET run and then format for trees and then panels. Hmm. Okay, memory usage and disk usage. Okay, so for the trees, renders trees, where do we have that? Yes. Okay, so looking good. Now, what if we add the options for the show charts and also for what else we did in this session? Oh, for grouping, yeah. Whoops, I think we closed that. Yeah, let me go and try like sharp fetch. Yeah, open code here. And let's move these to the first one. Thank you. So now, please add the options for displaying the charts and option for, oh, I just, okay, mm, never mind, for displaying as groups. The CLI option should override um, the config properties. So if at config.json file we have show chart true, but the the user passes the show chart option as false, the CLI should have precedence over the current config as well as for the group option. Use use names to preserve consistency. Now, you know what? Just grouping option and then let's go show charts. I think that's how we call it here, right? Yeah, show charts. And group modules config option should be moved to the display um, object at the JSON file. Also, it should be read from there and not from the modules object. Please make that change where it corresponds. Okay, so what we said is we are making or listening from the group module from here and the show charts from here. But we also want a CLI option for that. What do I mean? Let me show you. .NET run dash dash and help. So what we currently have is this, but we also want an option to say display charts and group modules, something like that. So that's what Claude is gonna be doing right now. Also, I want to move this because I didn't realize this should be here down. So let's move this to here, and also from everywhere there must be an update to read the group modules from the display object here at JSON. So launch JSON, I think we can close this, and module renderer, it's already making some changes. That's why we have that that those here, these errors. Okay. Anyways, Claude is gonna be fixing this. For the meantime, for the meantime, I think we should consider to use the progress. Maybe using this. Okay, so this is a tutorial. Okay, progress again. Show progress bars. This is another tutorial, maybe a shorter one. Oh, this is how to. Creating a custom renderable. Success warning error info. I actually like this. These patches look cool. Do we have a pill for this? No, we don't. Oh yes, so it is just adding a front text color and a background text color. Okay, so how to the test console. Okay, we can create our own renderables. Maybe that's something we want to investigate further. So drawing the charts. Yep, we don't have anything more specific. Content live, hierarchical data, escape markup, show the progress bar, display tabular data, and prompt for user input. Okay. Okay, I like this. You know what? Actually, I think now that I'm investigating, maybe we can, we do can make these bar charts like lean, like we're seeing here, and not have these big chunks of um, yes, actually, yeah, because we're displaying everything inside these panels, but it shouldn't be. Why don't we just add, like the name here, disk, and then display the name. Yeah, like display used and free with a slash, and then just the both colors. I think that's something we can try. Maybe I should go and try doing some tutorials on the Spectre Console webpage. Okay, so now let's see what this guy has done. Yada yada. Okay, and move group module for yeah, the display configuration in the seizure model. Okay, update config JSON to move, yes, from modules to display. That's nice. Fix module result renderer to read from your modules. Okay. Fix configuration loader, default config moderate generation. Okay. And then show charts and group, yeah, CLI option pool to program so explicit CLI values, yeah, operate config. Okay, yes. So let's run the help again. And yes, now we have the group and the show charts options. That's quite nice. I think we can try those like format panels. Okay, so now we can say um show charts false. Oh, sorry. Show charts. Yep. Also, maybe we can try the other one. Say group false. Nice, nice. I like it. We are taking higher precedence from the CLI, and now let's remove them all, and we should have the output as before, right? Yes. Okay, that's cool. That's really cool. Now I think we have done way more work that we were expecting. So what else do we have to work on? Like, I'm actually running out of work here. Or maybe we can check on future updates. Yes, we got this. I think this already it's working, but just in config. Yeah, color green, cyan, blue, and magenta. That's for, yeah, for the charts and the trees. For left panel, what do we have? Like, I'm actually, like interested in knowing. Yep, the default color. Let's say, what if this is black? No, actually, I think we need to have that color, right? Like in the renderer, something like green. Yes, this. We have blue. Yeah, spectre color. What if we pass yellow here? Okay, we still have done it build. Maybe it's a build issue. Okay, it doesn't seem so. Maybe color scheme default show icons true panels. So for left panel, what do we have? Left panels. Yes, render as, whoa. Um, Interesting. Oh, yes, that's because left panel has its own implementation outside this, guys, because left panel must bypass the group stuff. So render as left panels. Yeah, 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 yeah. Okay, so render as left panels. Where do we pass the coloring stuff? Oh, it is default. Okay, yellow and cyan. And maybe, you know what? All that cyan color, I don't actually like that color. Like, can it be white, please? Oops. Left panel. And let's make this cyan stuff white. Yes, please. And let's check how the coloring is going. Okay, I don't think that's white. That white is pretty crazy. Maybe red, just to see the change. Okay, so how do I actually use white color? Color that white. This is really interesting. Or maybe gray. It's gonna barely be. Okay, this is weird. Actually, let's go and take a look at colors. Nope. But here, color, for color reference, let's look for the white. Is it because I'm using, like the on the lowercase white? No, renders charts. Let's try this now. Let's clear the output and then run this and see if we get the white color. And now we're getting this nice like a greenish color. Okay, that's because you dummy dum dum. You should put white here. Okay, let's say white again here. And please, for God's sake, be white, right? No, 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 no. Yeah, I think I'm updating the wrong places, right? Like this row is gonna be yellow, and then the value grid is gonna be white. Anyways, I think this looks way better than that cyan, which was so strong on the eyes. So now we have the options for our properties for displaying the charts and for showing what was it for the charts and for the grouping. So that's nice. Oh, yellow. Okay. So yellow. Do we have yellow? I think not. Okay. I think this is good progress for now. Oh, yes. The interactive stuff. Yeah. I think we can start by looking for the prompt widget. Yeah, because if we want to make, the wizard for the interactive configuration, we need to be using this. We need to create a set of questions to let the user decide what modules he wants to display. Uh, Parallel execution should be enabled, which will be the timeout in milliseconds, and enable a higher and a lower value, and try making the user stick to that. Or maybe we can provide some, quite a range of options and just allow the user to decide between those. Show execution time. You know what? Let's actually turn this to true because I haven't tried that option and I really want to see the execution time working. Okay, I think we can ask Claude if that is working. Is the execution time working? I tried running the the application with the left panel option and turn the execution time option at config file to true, but nothing came up after running the application. Um, so can you take a look and enable it if it is not working, please? Okay, so in the meantime that uh, Claude is doing that work, yep, we can take a look at this. Yes, so we need to make a set of questions to let the user decide whether he wants to display some stuff. Show execution. You want to be grouping your properties of the system, and then make the user checks or create the display name. And this is the default, and maybe we should also let the user decide how many groups he wants. And then the display options, from the format that you want, show icons, yes or no, color scheme. Actually, we have to work on this. The color scheme, I think, as for now, we only have default, but we should enable something, and we should let the user decide what color scheme does he want, and maybe, just maybe, even add a coloring scheme um, logic so the user can import his own color schemes, show chart and grouping, all that. The user should be able to uh, configure that from the config wizard. Maybe almost everything. Maybe for the first version we can let the groups out, because I think that's gonna be a lot of work, and just let the user decide on the rest of the things, which are not that much options. So, okay, so it says the execution time it's working, but look at this. I don't like this. Let me take a look at the application left panel. Okay, so it's the execution time for every module. Man, that's crazy. That's neat. I think this is so good. You know, wow. Thank you, Claude. I think this is really cool and crazy. Okay, so it seems that it's thinking a lot here. Look at this. It's crazy how much this guy is thinking the things. Yep. Okay, thank you. Okay. Yes, so this was the thing that should be shown. Okay, let me see if we can have this even if we don't set left panels, like for any other kind of output. Yes, we got it here and here. Maybe not yet for memory and disk, but we can work on that later. So far, I think this is crazy. This is good. So nice, nice, nice. Okay, guys, I think we have done a good amount of work. So let me go into the plan MD, and let's take this to the left and say uh, we have started to plan also what we have done today, adding the adding show chart and group options for the CLI. No, CLI options. I like this. So we accomplish this. Um, fix the the show execution time logic. Nope, nope. Yes. What else we did today? Like, let me check at this. Config loader. Yep. Sharp fetch config. Disk module. Yeah, I think that's it. We've done a lot of progress today. Like, we completed everything from day 8 and even more, even way more than we have defined. So now I think we can do this. Next session, day 9, and have something like a calendar here. So I think we can say implement um, interactive configuration wizard. Okay, that's something we could start doing the next session. Make the disk and memory charts linear. Also, I can do that next session. Um, what else? What else? Oh, maybe we can say something like add NC. No, I think it's ASCII or nerd font icons version for output icons. Okay, and also create option to display nerd font or emoji icons. So quite a lot of UI updates for the next session. Mm, what else can we do? I think I have to revisit what I want from this application because we have implemented the module system. We have added the color mapping options. I think the most ambitious one I have for now is to implement the interactive wizard. What does it say? Blank around list. List should be surrounded by blank. I don't know what you mean by that, but okay. I think every first line have that. Okay, no worries. So okay, guys, I think that's nice for today, and I think the next session, I hope maybe Monday, I can start working on this. Maybe today I can work on doing some tutorials on this on the user input and also using the charts and even trying to do some spinner. I'm sorry, some stat not status. What was it? The progress bar. Yeah, the chart, and maybe even trying to use the progress bar to see what we can do with this. Yeah, I think that's doable, totally. So let's remove the last one from this, and I think this is nice for the next session. So, guys, thank you. Remember to check the repo in the description. You can go and check the application repo here, Sharfetch, and go to implement modules. I think I can be already merging these to master because it is working. Even if it has some, like issues or bugs, I think we can live with that. Oh yeah, maybe something else we can add for tomorrow will be like hello, like, yeah, maybe we can do something like refactor project structure and remove unused files and create an appealing no, read, I'm sorry, readme file and add some captures. Oh, you know what? Maybe we could plan on adding, testing. Yeah, I think we can plan on adding some testing and also adding some, oh, like GitHub actions, Docker, just planning for now. I don't think we can implement or that we should implement that right now, but definitely planning. And yes, so check the repo here. I think I'm gonna be merging this to master. You can check the Spectre console project is amazing. Also, I'm following the documentation from the system command line at Microsoft. This is what we're using for the CLI. So I think that's it, guys. Thank you for being here, and I'll see you in the next one.